Hello and welcome to another beautiful Sunday to your most educative show, Eye on Port. Eye on Port is brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Gold PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. The show is proudly powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority-GPHA, and our media partner is the BNFT, Business and Financial Times. Remember, you can also join the conversation via all our social media handles. We are on Facebook, we're streaming live at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, also at the Port of Tema. And on YouTube, we're streaming live at Eye on Port. You also get the opportunity to interact with us via our dedicated WhatsApp line is 0538037353, 0538037353. And also, we'll be opening the phone lines for you to contribute your ideas, comments, questions, and we'll provide all the answers for you. So grab your phones, let's get interactive. Today will be very exciting. I call it the special edition of Eye on Port because, you know what? Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is 40 years old. I'll introduce my guests to you shortly after this break.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP will feel ya, huh? Will be feel. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Every day we step out with purpose to work, to build, to provide, to dream. But sometimes life takes an unexpected turn. An accident, a fire outbreak, a medical emergency. Moments we never planned for. And when they happen, the right support changes everything. Hi, I'm Serena, and at Serene Insurance, we stand with you through every challenge and every victory. Protected your family, your business, your job, your future, and you. Our services include motor, fire, marine, engineering, aviation, and bonds and guarantees are tailored to suit your needs. Because insurance is not just about policies, it's about peace of mind, confidence, and knowing that no matter what happens, you are covered. Visit our website to view our insurance policies right now. Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Across the corridor and every major yard, GPHA is the choice of over 11,000 professional drivers. Visit our kiosk to register. Join a community built on safety, savings, and success. Get your official high-vis gear and your personalized GPHA ID, your key to a smarter journey. With over 11,000 members, you are never driving alone. This is the GPHA standard of excellence. Tap your card for instant fuel discounts at Shell. Save more on every fill and keep your profits high. Maximize your earnings with our real-time load board. Find your next haul instantly.
So throughout the week, a lot has happened at the port and in the maritime industry. This is just by way of an update for you.
The Port of Tema has welcomed the Global Mercy, the world's largest civilian hospital ship. The vessel, operated by Mercy Ships, will provide free specialized surgical and dental care while supporting the training and professional development of Ghanaian healthcare personnel. The mission represents the continuation of a partnership with Ghana dating back to 1991. For the next 10 months, the vessel will serve as a platform for specialized surgical care, medical training, and professional collaboration, bringing together international healthcare volunteers and Ghanaian medical professionals. The relationship between Ghana and Mercy Ships spans more than 3 decades. At the official welcome ceremony, government officials and Mercy Ships leadership emphasized that the mission extends beyond the provision of medical procedures.
The arrival in Tema is particularly meaningful for Mercy Ships, as our first hospital ship, which was called the Anastasis, was welcomed into this very port more than 30 years ago. And in fact, this is the 5th time that Mercy Ships has returned to Ghana, and it is the first visit of this ship. And I mention that because history is really important, and it emphasises the relationship with Ghana has not been defined ever by just one single visit.
Over the coming 10 months, an estimated 1,950 to 2,600 life-changing surgeries and 1,610 to 2,145 dental treatments will be provided free of charge. The field service will also invest in 100 to 250 healthcare professionals through education, mentorship, and clinical training.
I wish to assure the leadership, crew members, and staff of the vessel that we shall give you all the cooperation and the support that is required to make your mission successful. We are also committed in providing efficient, safe, and first-class services to facilitate the execution of your work whilst in this country.
We are blessed to be at the center of the sub-region, and our quest or our hard work to make Tema the preferred destination of maritime services, you are adding to it, and your coming will actually be a blessing. We are already blessed by being a coastal country, and as such, we are prepared to render services to ourselves and our neighboring countries that are landlocked within the West African sub-region.
The scale of Mercy Ship's engagement with Ghana is significant. Figures presented during the ceremony indicates that the organization's work has resulted in 2,670 surgical procedures, 18,120 dental procedures, and the training of 2,000. Among the conditions treated by Mercy Ship's teams are cleft lip and palates, cataracts, bone contractures, bowed legs, benign tumors, and other conditions requiring specialized surgical intervention. Through training, mentorship, professional exchange, and collaboration with Ghanaian institutions, Mercy Ships will work alongside local health professionals with the objective of contributing to sustainable improvements in surgical care.
Management of the Tema Fishing Harbour has assured stakeholders of measures being implemented to address operational challenges and improve service delivery at the facility. The assurance was given at a stakeholder engagement held on Thursday, August 20, 2026 at the National Fisheries Association of Ghana, NAFAG Hall. The meeting brought together heads of departments, representatives of the Fisheries Commission, industry players, fishermen, market women and other harbour users to deliberate on challenges affecting operations at the facility. The General Manager of the Tema Fishing Harbour, Philippa Amanda Ama, said management is taking steps to secure national health insurance accreditation, improve gate access, address congestion and traffic flow, upgrade IT facilities and network connectivity, and explore alternative measures to improve water supply.
Regarding the barcode pollution, we took serious note of it, and I personally pursued it to the Director of Port Office where we had a discussion. It is not a matter that we have let to rest. We are pursuing it.
The General Manager, Estate and Environment, Bright and Dibeko also called on stakeholders to adapt responsible waste management practices. He encouraged harbour users to embrace the 3R approach: reduce, reuse and recycle, and ensure proper waste segregation, particularly for plastic waste.
We adopted a 3R concept of waste management, which means we either have to reduce the waste that we generate, because waste is inevitable. So we have to reduce our waste, and when it becomes possible that we cannot reduce the waste, but the waste is generated, we reuse it. It becomes possible. And where we cannot reuse, we recycle it, so that the cumulative effect is very little or minimal waste is sent to the municipal dam site, because we don't have space to dam them.
The stakeholder engagement provided a platform for management and harbour users to discuss operational challenges and measures being implemented to improve service and conditions at the Tema Fishing Harbour. Management says continued collaboration with stakeholders will be critical to improving efficiency, safety and overall operations of the facility.
The 2026 edition of the LCB Corporate Games has officially kicked off, bringing together corporate institutions within Ghana's port and logistics industry for a 12 to 14-week sporting competition. The tournament, which is in its 5th year, provides an avenue for companies across the industry to connect beyond their regular business activities, strengthen professional relationships, keep fit, and enjoy recreation through sport. The competition is being held across the Accra and Tema zones, with the eventual winners of both zones set to meet at the grand finale to determine the overall champion. Among the 16 participating institutions is the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, which has entered 2 teams this year, the Fire Department and Mechanical Department. The authority has been a regular participant in the competition, alongside other companies operating within the port and logistics space. For organizers LCB Worldwide Ghana, the games form part of efforts to create platforms that promote interaction among industry players while expanding the company's corporate social responsibility initiatives.
It is very necessary for us to give back to the community so as we create awareness of what we literally do, because most of the times people don't know what disinfection is all about. So as we And they take this particular project every particular year. It is a way of letting the society that we happen to be around know that this is what we are into.
The organizers say the competition also provides an opportunity to deepen business relationships and encourage healthier lifestyles among employees of participating institutions.
I think at the end of the day, it sends a signal to our business partners that we are not just about business. We understand the essence of good health and all that, and friendliness amongst ourselves. So in a way, it has brought us together and it has increased the way we do business.
The overall winner will receive 20,000 Ghana cedis, with the first runner-up taking home 10,000 Ghana cedis and second runner-up 5,000 Ghana cedis. With the competition expected to run up to 14 weeks, the focus will now shift to the various fixtures across Accra and Tema as teams battle for places in the grand finale.
Welcome back to Iron Ports. Iron Ports is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and of course, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, was established 40 years ago as the gateway to Ghana's economy. From Tema and Takoradi, Port GPHA facilitates over 70% of Ghana's international trade. As GPHA marks 40 years, there is a need to educate the public on GPHA's role beyond just docking ships, creating jobs, revenue mobilization, and security. It is also paramount to celebrate the people behind the success over the period and to drum home GPHA's vision for the next 40 years, including our smart and green ports projects, which is aimed at positioning GPHA as the engine of trade and not just an institution. So, of course, we are celebrating 40 years, and we all know that Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was established in 1946. But how did it all begin? They say life begins at 40, but let's take you through the journey of GPHA.
For centuries, Ghana's coastline has served as a gateway to trade, connecting people, cultures, and economies across continents. From the bustling shores of Tema and Takoradi to the countless vessels that have carried the nation's aspirations across the seas, the story of Ghana's maritime industry is inseparable from the story of Ghana itself. In 1986, a transformative chapter began. Under PNDC Law 160, three vital institutions, the Ghana Ports Authority, the Ghana Cargo Handling Company, and the Takoradi Lighterage Company, were merged to form a single unified entity, the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. This historic consolidation brought together expertise, infrastructure, and operations under one mandate: to plan, build, develop, manage, maintain and control all ports in Ghana. Over the past 4 decades, GPHA has evolved into a cornerstone of Ghana's economy, serving as the nation's maritime gateway and a catalyst for commerce, industrial growth, and regional integration.
I was employed on 24 January 1977. We all realized that the merger was the best for the three organizations. When we were coming together, we all knew the strength of each organization. Those who thought were financially okay didn't want the merger because they wanted to enjoy the cake all alone.
The Export Authority side agreed to the merger because they thought that, one, the port will be modernized, and two, we will get more machines and others to work with so that bigger ships can call in. Unfortunately, our other side, Ghana Cargo Handling Company, after meeting the workers, they said no. And so, we were managing. And along the line, demonstrations started, especially from the Cargo Handling Company side. We no go agree. We go agree, we no go agree. We go agree, we no go agree. Demonstrations. And it did not happen only at the port inside. Now they moved to township.
Those days, when there's a need for somebody to jump and go and become a foreman on board a ship, how to hook cargo and the rest. But some of us officers were going down into the hatches to work with them. We had the likes of the late Robert Majidi, Bob Majidi, a seasoned steward. Those are the people we mentor.
Through innovation, resilience, and the dedication of generations of workers, the authority has transformed Ghana's ports into world-class hubs that connect the country to global markets.
Ghana Cargo Handling Company had a lot of money because we were handling the stevedoring exporting port. We were hot in business, and light trades were more or less doing the taxi, sea taxi sort of, using batches and lighters to cut things from the anchorage and then deep sea to the wharf. And the GPHA, Ghana Port Authority, was more or less like a regulator. I mean, they were there overseeing the activities of the port. So when it became necessary that we have to get so many things well done or done well in the port, decided to go for World Bank loan. So there was a need for us to come together so that there will be a rehabilitation of the port. And the port looked very nasty, especially at Takoradi Port. I come from Takoradi Port. I was employed in Takoradi. It was an awful sight to see. When you enter the port, you would think you are standing at Agbogbloshie, where all kinds of things happen, trading, selling of food, where the big time chop bars were situated in the port, close to the quay.
40 years ago, the port was not like this. We were having a lot of bulk carriers in the port by then. There was no container because by then, container was not in the system. I can see the development that the port has gone through. When it goes to administrative area, we were not having a lot of professionals around that area by then. But later the port became attractive, and now we are having professionals, all those type of people there managing the situation. And we've managed the situation up to this stage. And I think the port has progressed a lot.
Takoradi Electric Company Limited has the limit price. We manage the lighters. The lighters is what we use to do the export of the primary product, that is the cocoa beans in sacks. The wranglers, both the sinkers and the anti-floaters. As for the sinkers, they are placed in the lighters and moved to the ship side for loading. The same thing applies to the cocoa beans in sacks. These are loaded into the lighters and then moved to the ship side for loading. And then we have this Tema too. We also handle Tema. So basically the export product, it is third-party Electric Company that handled those export products.
We take this opportunity as a unions to also urge each and every one of us to work very hard. That some people brought us where we are now. They work very hard to bring us to where we are now. And we are also asking each and every one, the kind staff, to also work very hard, that we will also be able to have a success story.
As we all know, we have implemented 24-hour economy, for which we are running 3 different ships. This has led to the employment of quite a large number of staff. This is a good sign. Aside that, we can see that vessels are calling. Vessel traffic has grown, container volumes have grown. What should we do to be able to accommodate these traffic volumes? So I urge all staff to participate fully in this celebration so that this celebration can be a successful one.
I would wish or to see that in the near future or the days ahead, we'll see more of machines at the ship side, like the cranes, the Murphys, the forklift, everything that we need to enhance our operation activities.
40 years down the line, a lot of programs scheduled for this program, and I want you and everybody to engage ourselves to make it outstanding.
to make it happier, to make it livelier. So I come before you today in a happy mood. Managers, stakeholders, union staffs, everybody. It is your contribution and my contribution that has moved the authority this far.
As GPHA marks its 40th anniversary, we celebrate not only an institution, but also the people, partnerships, and pioneering spirit that have shaped its remarkable journey. This is the story of 40 years of progress, 40 years of connecting Ghana to the world and the world to Ghana.
40 years ago, some of us were not here, but from what we've heard from our seniors, indicates that the measure was the best that happened to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Under that regime, the Port Authority was seriously handicapped. But the measure under the PNDC Law 160 and thereafter have brought a lot of energy into Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. We have seen the port improved in all aspects of the economy.
I take the opportunity to congratulate all those who have been part of this journey. Former workers of GPHA, the directors, director generals of GPHA, current staff of GPHA, the shipping agents, shipping lines, freight forwarders, all those who have made this possible for GPHA to be here today. We can only say that at 40, life has just begun for GPHA.
I stand in solidarity with the entire GPHA family as we celebrate our accomplishments and renew our commitment to excellence, innovation, and service. Congratulations to us on 40 years of dedicated service to Ghana and beyond.
Congratulations to GPHA from 1986, founded under the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority Law, PNDC Law 160. The Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to excellence in providing services to our customers, protecting the environment, and eliminating workplace accidents and work-related ill health to promote sustainability in our operations of managing port facilities, serving vessels, receiving and delivery of cargo to our valued clients, and other ancillary services. So we've done this for 40 years, anchoring Ghana's trade, sailing into the future. I have two wonderful people in the studio to do this with me, and that is why I'm so excited this evening. Philippa Amanda Ama, she is the chairperson, GPHA 40th Anniversary Committee. Thank you so much, madam, for coming to the studio.
Thank you.
And former General Manager Operations, GPHA, Gavin Amavi. I'm grateful that you were able to make it. Thank you. Of course, and just as I said, they say life begins at 40. So what does this mean to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority? 40 years of serving customers and improving Ghana's trade.
Thank you. It's 40 years of, it represents a legacy of service, growth, and impact. It represents 40 years of trade facilitation in the country, 40 years of playing a leading role in the maritime sector in the West African sub-region. So that's what we are setting out to celebrate. We are celebrating, we want to see, we want to use this anniversary as a celebration of our achievements and our commitment to the future.
Okay, that's worth celebrating because, I mean, for 40 years, for such an institution that keeps growing and growing, definitely we need to celebrate. Mr. Amavi, what do you want to say to us at 40 years? You've been part of the story. At 40 years, how do you feel about this whole thing?
I really feel excited just because I was really involved.
Definitely.
At that time. So for me to see GPHA grow up to this level, it excites me.
Yeah.
I'm encouraged and I know we'll have better years ahead.
Rightly so. You were part of the family when it was formulated in 1986. It was a measure of some 3 companies. Take us through that journey.
So you really set me back thinking about what the old system was at that time. So you realize that before the 1986 merger, you could imagine the port as a fragmented and struggling area.
Okay.
So you realize that Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority was formed out of 3 state-owned institutions. We had Port Authority, the Ghana Port Authority, who were just managing the infrastructure. Then we had Ghana Cargo Handling. They were doing cargo handling operations. We're talking about loading and discharging of vessels. Then came Takoradi Lightridge.
Yeah.
They were pulling cargo from the quay to midstream. Those days, particularly, they were located in Takoradi. Those days, they had vessels midstream.
Okay.
They could haul cocoa using pusher tugs and tow tugs, cocoa in lighters, and some timber or timber locks on pontoons.
Okay.
So these were the organizations who were put together to form Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
Okay, so I'd like to you to tell us about what you remember, you know, how that arrangement worked, because you just mentioned 3 different companies doing 3 different things, but the goal is one, getting a cargo to sail smoothly to its destination.
So you realize that there was total confusion, as we were saying. So if we were handling some timber and we're supposed to go to the midstream, we had stevedores. The stevedores were not coming from Lightridge. So that coordination was not very effective. Then we had Port Authority, who may have to come and open and justify that people open the sheds and other things for people to come and work. Some might be late, some might not come. So realize the planning was fragmented. The other thing was maintenance became more of a problem. Maintenance of equipment and infrastructure was also a problem. So it came out that there was the need to coordinate this. The Port Authority, who came out of Ghana Railway Company at a time, where there was that separation in 1972, came out of Ghana Railway Company and became Port Authority. So these 3, Port Authority, Lightridge, and Cargo Handling Company, were put together to result in one single commanding company, organization that will run the system.
Okay.
That could give confidence to our donors who we have to go for loan. We needed somebody at that time to control issues. So we brought all these 3 companies together to give that confidence. So that's how GPHA started.
What would you say that the measure did? What change did it bring in terms of practical operations at the port?
So in looking at the measure, we were able to synchronize operations. We could come together and plan the operations.
Okay.
There wasn't anything like separated issues. Maintenance also was handled by Ghana Ports Authority and Harbours Authority. So you realize that things were going on well. Now, the loan which was taken and the donors who gave the loan had confidence. It cleaned up the books and raised the stature of our financial books to enable us going for the loan. So they had confidence. in us. I always keep telling people that was the time that we felt that government took the loan and then subletted it to us for that confidence. Okay. But that was just some of the stories we were saying. But we had that opportunity. Staff were really organized. Training became a topmost issue. Priority. That was given because you needed to synchronize the activities. You needed people to train in certain fields. So we were able to even reorganize the unions who worked well to protect the interest of
and I know how
workers.
Strong the union is at the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
It used to be. Yeah. Even these days, we think they are softer a bit, but the era that we have is what calls for. So those four bearers did good work to reorganize the unions and gave the vim and matched management boot to boot to make sure that things were placed in the right perspective.
Okay. Let me bring in Madam Amanda. You are the chairperson for the 40th Anniversary Committee. I want to look at your terms of reference. What's the vision for this celebration, and what is the committee what did you set out to achieve for this celebration?
Thank you. The committee, we originally set out and to come up with a theme for the celebration. And the theme is 40 years of service, partnership and progress, building West Africa's premier trade and logistics hub. So the celebrations we planned for the anniversary, we wanted them to reflect those three words, service, partnership and progress. We realized that an organization, an institution in itself cannot be celebrate 40 years. It's the people who worked in there and their sacrifices and their various stakeholders that play a part in the organization that have made it possible for us to survive for this 40 years. So the activities, that was our main focus. Our stakeholders, our staff, both past and present, and then also the future generation. So that was basically the focus of all the activities planned and the aim of the celebration.
Okay. Ms. Amavi, looking back, what do you think were some of the significant milestones that GPHA chalked in the early days?
In the early days, what we were able to chalk those days were it brought about unity among staff. They gathered themselves together, and there was one particular thinking that we needed to come together to do consolidation and then get the issue of being able to merge the companies and the rehabilitation of the infrastructure. So one was the rehabilitation, and then the other one was setting staff in the right perspective to understand the jobs. So the successes that we chalked again was the training, which brought or elevated professionals among us. People were trained locally and outside. The exposure alone brought, but whilst we were in other areas, it was only a few people who were being exposed to that extent. So it came to a situation that we realized that people were rather now accepting to come and work in the industry.
I mean, comparing it to those days when they didn't like the environment and they thought it was toxic. So, okay, so that's a great one. But you've looked at the Port Authority evolve from how it was during the olden days, evolve into the organization we have today. For you, what is the biggest change that stands out for you?
For me, what's the biggest change that stands out for me is the high standards of staff. The level of staff has gone up.
The professionalism.
And then you also realize that I remember those days when we were in the Port Authority, we had people who were handling the pitman screen, the porter cranes. And then we had track men. They were only cleaning the tracks. So with the merger, we looked at the fact that some of them were being redundant and we needed others to work somewhere. So we took some of these crane track men and trained them to handle forklifts.
Okay.
It wasn't easy, but we were able to. So these were some of the things that came up that was encouraging to me.
In terms of someone who were part of this whole thing, I mean, what are you particularly proud of achieving as part of this institution in its formative years?
I've been proud just because I think that GPHA now moves structurally. We had a strategic thinking. We had a strategic plan which we moved towards. So the situation came about as a result of we coming together, putting resources together. So the port was planned well. The two ports, they were planned well.
Okay.
So we were encouraged to seek more people to join us, people who could really understand the system. But why we were able to thrive well is our unions came to understand management more because they were partners and were moving together. The issue of strikes and other things were later on minimized when we reorganized the labor companies, when GPHA took over and we had a dock labor company. The dock labor company initially was started by GPHA and then later on handed over to some people, to companies to start over. But it was all because of the interest of the port that it was formed. We looked at the system that we had in the Netherlands and then replicate that activity in Ghana.
Okay. And I'm happy that you spoke about the fact that there are people who really made this whole thing work. And I'm particularly enthused about the theme for this year's this celebration, 40 years of service, partnership, and progress. Definitely, it hasn't been a smooth journey. There definitely have been challenges. I'll come to that, but I want Madam Amanda to share with us some of the major activities that the committee has planned for this celebration.
Okay, so the GPHA anniversary itself is fell in June.
Yes.
So the 40 years was exactly in June of 1986. That's when PNDC Law 160 was passed into law. And on June 26th, we did a walk down memory lane. You know, as an organization, we've gone through various changes. We actually celebrated our 20th anniversary and we had an anniversary cloth. So we wanted the staff to represent, or GPHA, the ladies' uniforms have evolved over the years, and wanted a walk down memory lane. Because to be able to appreciate the story of this anniversary, you have to understand where we have come from and the sacrifices that people have made. So we did a walk down memory lane in June, which was very nice, and the staff took great part into it. They came up with some of the uniforms we had all forgotten about and things like. It was quite memorable.
Yes, that was.
And then in July we did a float. A float was just through the principal streets of Tema. It's a float and a health walk that we did. It was almost a 10-kilometer walk from the port all the way through the principal streets, and we ended up at our clubhouse. We had a lot of our retired staff, because GPHA, I always call it a family. Once you work there, you become a part of that family.
A big one.
And the whole family showed up for that walk, which was very impressive. And we just wanted to kind of create awareness. The big thing on Thursday will be the official launch of the 40th anniversary itself, where we've invited the stakeholders and things like that. And as I said, we also wanted to appreciate our past staff, past and present. So the next day on Friday, we'll do the Best Worker Awards ceremony. And we have a lot of people getting awards, departmental awards, and outstanding worker awards and things like that. And then we also plan on another industry award for our stakeholders and some of our staff as well, those who have distinguished themselves. We are lucky to have 2 people still in service who have attained 40 years. So they have lived through the 40-year journey of Ghana, and we are very proud of that. I'm particularly proud because we have both male and female. It's still, in spite of all efforts, still a very male-dominated. So for us, it's not, we cannot be proud enough about the fact that we have 2 people, a male and a female, who will be 40 years in service. And they will be part of the awardees for the distance. And then finally, in December, we hope to climax it with a Thanksgiving service. So these are some of the activities we have outlined
that
for
we
the celebration.
the public would have to look out for.
Yes.
But of course, and you talk about how you appreciate the people who made this work.
Yes.
And you said that it's not just celebrating GPHA, because without the people, GPHA doesn't exist. It is the people that make all the sacrifices and make all the things that work to achieve this 40 years journey. How are you ensuring that this celebration really reflects this 40 years journey, leading trade in Ghana, ensuring that logistics and all of that in the maritime sector has been championed? How do you ensure that the celebration will reflect truly this mark?
Sure. We have outlined, like I said, as part of our lunch, we are also doing an exhibition because we want to tell a story. I always say that you will appreciate where you are now when you know where the journey began from. So we want to start from where the journey began from and let people appreciate both our current staff and the future staff, appreciate the fact that we have come from somewhere. Even though we still have a lot of room for improvement, we've come a very long way and we are proud of the achievements that we have made. So we have a photo exhibition lined up. We have several documentaries that we intend to roll out telling the story of GPHA. We are very lucky. Like I said, the family has been up and accepting of this whole plan. We have most of our retired director generals and directors of ports who have been part of the development of that documentary that we intend to showcase to tell the story in full. When we have told the story in full, then we can project our vision into the future for people to understand where we came from, where we are now, and where we hope to send this organization. Because we want to use this 40-year celebration that it's like the foundation for the next 40 years, kind of. So we want to build the foundation for the 40-year journey ahead of us.
Of course.
So it's a whole lot that we have in plan, and we are hoping that our stakeholders, so far the signs have been positive, and we are hoping that the positivity will continue to urge us on for us to be able to push this organization ahead.
Okay. Mr. Mavi, technology, equipment, infrastructure, and the nature of port has changed over time. For you, how different is GPHA today from the environment you knew?
So, the environment I knew, there was less automation.
Yeah, okay.
There wasn't sufficient equipment. So it's been glad we went into the rehabilitation process. We had equipment. Now we have a single authority which is strong enough to manage these things. Now, the issue now we are heading towards is containerization beefed up with automation.
Okay.
Now, this is the time that people don't need to stress out, to wrestle out the change that is coming.
Yeah.
They need to be part of the change that is coming. We are moving ahead and we don't need to leave our people behind. They need to understand and get abreast of time. Could you believe that recently we have a system where we no more would do loading of bulk cargo, pouring them on the quay. We have a ram revolver that will load containers from the warehouses in containers, bring them to the port, and the revolver will just pour it, and then it goes out. Hitherto, the quay would be deleted, and we had to degrease and do dirty cargo now. Just 2-3 days ago, we handled a vessel like that. I'm excited because of that. But when you look back, you see the struggle that we went through. When we were even handling the discharge of containers with mobile cranes.
Okay.
We climb and then we pick them and then put them down. This time, we are using rich stackers.
Yes.
The best we had at that time was an old Boss forklift with that thick blade.
Wow.
And we're destroying the fork pockets of the containers. Now, you have a rich stacker. Picks off, we go. And it saves time. Turnaround time is also enhanced.
Yeah.
It makes the work of stevedoring and cargo handling much more easier and simpler. But we are yet to get better. Look at MPS, what is happening. We never had the STS or whatever it is. But with partnership, private partnership, we've been able to establish some of these, and then we become one of the best container handling port in West Africa, the sub-region. So that's now we're getting more trade, and then the capacity is growing up. They are expanding. And then we also have the issue of the more TEUs going up as we are handling now. And even we look at the way we're handling bulk cargo, general cargo, and the rest, there's much more sophistication other than those days. We had a TOS team now handling container operations with the technology. There are bay planners, but those days we couldn't. We tried to handle vessels, but we manually did it. When we had Sharaf vessels, we manually did it, But even though it was difficult, we set ourselves up. We sat on the quay with container officers and with the clerks, with the generator, and then we were working. But now we work remotely. These are some of the things.
Which is very encouraging. It is. But beyond the infrastructure and equipment, what would you say about the sense of family? Madam Amanda spoke about how it's a big family at GPHA. How was it at your time?
At the time, people didn't find their feet well. Were trying to become close. So this time, it has become a small village, a global village. So when you had nitrate somewhere, you had cargo handling somewhere, you couldn't see that togetherness. But with the merger and subsequent approaches to work, it has brought people together. They live as a family. So you realize that now you go to departments, they have welfare packages among them. When there is a disaster or somebody dies or a relative dies, they form a team and go together to support. So they go out of the working situation and try to assist the welfare of each other. So I think it's encouraging, and the merger has set a very right footing for some of these things to thrive.
But one of the challenges we're having at the port right now is the issue of congestion, which is coming because of improved trade and having a lot more clients. Was it like that during your time?
At a point in time, congestion came. So the idea of how do we move out? So we realized that there was a series of research done at several places. Hence the issue of the idea of Buankra also even came. That when we drop cargo, we send it interland to free the port. We're doing a lot of things on the quay, so the port became congested. So we realized that we needed to get outdoor terminals. Hence, Golden Jubilee Terminal came in as well. Then it was still congested. Then the idea of those things on the drawing board, which culminated into springing up MPS, the terminal which spread out on our wings. So we left the waterfront for quick turnaround of vessels. And then we said cargo will be discharged and handled outside of the key area, so that the waterfront was
Yeah. So yes. So I mean, for this time, GPHA has been able to handle the situation quite well. Recently, we met with stakeholders and explained to them how we are dealing with this congestion. And it happens that it's mostly the shipping lines who bring their containers and do not come and pick the empty containers. So that was creating a bit of a challenge. But I think we've done well in managing that situation, but there's still more room for improvement. So we are still working round the clock. But for you being part of the transition team, what would you say is one lesson that the young generation employees of GPHA can learn from your time?
So what they need to learn, what I think I have to tell them, is discipline and dedication. They need to commit themselves to work, be disciplined, and dedicate themselves well. Now, you realize that the Port Authority cannot thrive well without the workforce.
Yes.
And stakeholders as well. So once we recognize our staff, then we need to get a lot from them to make the system work well.
Yes.
So we think that when staff are dedicated, they will not veer, they will be disciplined. And then they will be able to serve customers willingly out of the heart and make sure to know that the customer is key to our activities. So this is what I think we should keep as first. Then the other thing is to make sure we make our staff learn more, to evolve themselves into the necessary changes that are coming. They need to be concentrating on the jobs that they are doing. There must be fairness as well, treatment of staff fairly. Then you see people will be encouraged to work better. People should not be peeved anytime they come to work. They should be organized and be encouraged better.
And motivated.
Yes.
And motivated. But Amanda, I know leading this chat has been a very tedious one. I mean, it's a big family, and handling such a big family definitely will come with its own challenges. What for you has been the biggest challenge that you've had to deal with in putting all of this together?
I think that the biggest challenge has been to the fact that we have GPHA is made of Tema and Takoradi.
Definitely.
So ensuring that the activities are spread fairly and equitably.
Yes.
The lunch for itself, in itself has to be hosted in Tema, where the headquarters is. So the headquarters is hosting it. But as much as possible, the challenge was duplicating the various activities. So when I was talking, I talked about the photo exhibition that we are setting up, for instance. We want to have a version of it in Takoradi as well, because it's stationed in Tema.
Yes.
Because we want the stakeholders and even the community in Takoradi to also have access to appreciate where the port is.
Yeah.
You know that you will agree with me, if you see a picture of Takoradi Port in 1986, and now you're standing in the port today, you better understand the sacrifices that people had to make to bring the port to its current situation.
Yeah.
So the main challenge has been the fairness or equitable distribution of the anniversary events, so that each city hosting a port will have a feel of this 40-year celebration.
I know that what you seek to do is to highlight GPHA's journey and showcase GPHA to the world.
Yes.
That for 40 years,
Yes.
this is what we have
Yes.
done.
Yes.
What particularly do you recommend that this celebration really focuses on, or hang its achievement on?
I think the main thing for me, when I want people to look back on this 40-year journey, reflect on it and realize and be grateful for where we have come from, and then also look with hope into the future that we are entering into. So the main focus for when we are done with everything and people say that, oh, I know the story of GPHA, I know where it started from, and I'm happy with where it is now, and I have hope that the future is even brighter. That for me will count as a successful celebration.
Okay. And of course, celebrating 40 years also means that we're looking ahead. We're looking forward to the next 40 years. What are we looking at? What is our target? How do we want to do things differently? How do we want to serve our customers differently? How is GPHA going to be telling its story in the next 80th anniversary? And that's where the conversation gets sweeter. I'll take a break on Iron Port. Remember, it's brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. And of course, we've been getting a whole lot of goodwill messages from our stakeholders, from our clients. We'll be showcasing some of that to you when I return from this break. But I'll also be looking at what the future is for us. And I'll also be finding out from Mr. Mavi what he recommends that we do after 40 years to improve services at GPHA. Stay with me, I'm coming right back.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Every day we step out with purpose to work, to build, to provide, to dream. But sometimes life takes an unexpected turn. An accident, a fire outbreak, a medical emergency. Moments we never planned for. And when they happen, the right support changes everything. Hi, I'm Serena, and at Serena Insurance, we stand with you through every challenge and every victory. Protected your family, your business, your job, your future, and you. Our services include motor, fire, marine, engineering, aviation, and bonding guarantees are tailored to suit your needs. Because insurance is not just about policies, it's about peace of mind, confidence, and knowing that no matter what happens, you are covered. Visit our website to view our insurance policies right now. Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy. creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. Efiba is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Across the corridor and every major yard, CHAPT is the choice of over 11,000 professional drivers. Visit our kiosk to register. Join a community built on safety, savings, and success. Get your official high-vis gear and your personalized chapter ID, your key to a smarter journey. With over 11,000 members, you are never driving alone. This is the chapter standard of excellence. Tap your card for instant fuel discounts at Shell. Save more on every fill and keep your profits high. Maximize your earnings with our real-time load board. Find your next haul instantly.
Welcome back to Iron Port. Iron Port is brought to you by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. So before I went on that break, we spoke about how we are looking forward to the next 40 years. What plans are we putting in place as GPHA to address some of our challenges to ensure that at our 80th anniversary, we will be smiling and our customers, stakeholders would also be smiling with us. A lot of messages are coming in. Let me take a few of them. I love the discussion from your panel. Good evening. This is coming from Stephen Tete, Old Fadama. And this one is also coming from Amina Madina. It says, interesting chat. I can't have enough. My father worked in the port in the 80s, so I'm interested. Looking back, was the measure successful immediately, or did it take several years before GPHA became stable? Of course, any measure will not be stable at the beginning. It will take a little time to... Definitely. And of course, Mr. Mavi is here. He may throw more light to that for us. And Bless from Nungwa says, at what point did GPHA realize that Tema needed a major expansion like Terminal 3? I think Mr. Mavi mentioned it. With all the challenges, we realized that we needed a port outside, another terminal that could take some of the containers for us. But a lot more people have been wishing GPHA well. Let's take a listen. Okay, if it's not ready, we can continue with our conversation and get that done as and when it is ready.
Happy anniversary once again to gphaghana. They've done well so far. gphaghana has done well so far, taking us through the whole lot. So I think we are okay with gphaghana and the staff.
On your 40th birthday, I wish you all the best of luck, and then more work to come.
GPHA at 40, hooray!
GPHA is having, they are celebrating their, 40th anniversary. I would say kudos, and they should improve on whatever they are saying, and I wish them good. I wish them well.
In them 40th year, which is GPHA gphaghana, me expect to say in the next maybe 2 years or 3 years, mobile saying MPS. Because I didn't that down. I didn't any BBA by. I say na BBA at Tintin name na BBA. gphaghana on the 40th. I don't want to see you.
One would say the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority 40 years have really seen tremendous improvement in terms of its growth. not just developing the port, we've also seen the dragging of the vet. We've also seen the expansion of the NPS terminal that has increased volumes of cargo under 40 years. We at Import and Exporters Association, on behalf of my good self, Samson Asake, I will be the Executive Secretary, my board of directors and my staff. We want to join the numerous stakeholders to say, Aiku, for attaining 40 years. It's not easy, and we look forward to see more excellent, more awards being won by the Ghana Port. And so for us, we will make it a way to be there. If God give us long life on that very day, we pray that on that very day, God will bring us successful, and we will join you at your luncheon. So we can only wish you 40 years, hooray, from the Import and Exporters Association of Ghana.
So that was Asake Awingo-Bate, he's Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association. You heard others also wishing Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority well as they celebrate the 40th anniversary. I ended with you, Madam Amanda. I'm coming back to you. They always say ladies first, right? So how important was it for you as a committee to involve the wider maritime industry in this whole celebration?
I said from the beginning, we wanted to focus on the partnerships that brought us to this 40-year journey. As I said, we couldn't have done it alone. So we count on our staff, both past and present, and also our stakeholders. Our stakeholder involvement is very, very important to us. And we consider our stakeholders the key people who can judge our success as an organization.
Yes.
So it was important for us to involve them so that we can get feedback from them and also get them to appreciate. We want to just tell a story where our history will be appreciated and the journey in itself will get the full support of all our stakeholders in forging ahead for the next 40 years.
Yes. And
so that's
forging ahead for the next 40 years. So in celebrating this whole anniversary, what message are you looking forward to leaving with the new crop of employees of GPHA, or let me say the new generation of employees of GPHA, and the general public at large?
Okay. For our staff, I think that the most important thing I want them to know is that they should learn from the past, but not be afraid, learn from history and learn from where we come from, but they should not be afraid to make their own history and to take on the charge and be innovative, use technology and bring different ideas and perspective to make GPHA better. It has a very bright future. There is no doubt about it. If you look at GPHA and where we are headed, but the future will not just happen.
Yes.
It has to be worked at.
Definitely.
So I want to encourage all staff in GPHA to give GPHA their best every single day and work towards making the place better for the next generation. Imagine the sacrifices that those who were there at the merger. If you hear the stories, it was the port was nothing to write home about. The port was like, I think my colleague Adelaide referred to it at Takrady Port as Agbobloshi kind of. If you go to the market now, you picture that the port you see today once looked like a marketplace. It shows you where you have come from. But it also tells you that that is not the end. There is still a lot more to be done. And that lot has to be done by somebody. And that somebody is you who is working there now. So for me, that's the message to the staff. And to our stakeholders, that we are ready and willing to listen and to learn. We want to make the place better because they are there because we are. And if their business thrives, we are also thriving as a port authority. So we are interested in how they are growing their business. And they should also be interested in how we are growing as a port.
Of course, you talk about partnership, and that's, for me, it's key in this whole celebration. Mr. Mavi, so GPHA at 40, and earlier you just gave me a snippet of how you feel about this whole. Looking at your journey, I mean, from where you started from, you've been part of this whole success story for 40 years. I mean, you've been a senior member of the family. What does this mean to you?
It means a lot to me now that those who followed us are picking on some of the salient things that we worked on.
Yeah.
But it also sets me back for me to remind those in the system that there are certain key things that they need to pick on. For instance, if you look at 2017, we got certification in ISO, but walking through the port now, it's not as good as it used to be. Others are trying very hard to do something, but we need to do better in that sense. So we need to have that deepening and culture of excellence, where we try to look at the quality of work that we do, trying to live up to the issue of 9001 2015, that's quality management. And then we also look at 14001, where we're looking at the environment. These days, we're talking about environmental sustainability.
Sure.
That's the key for government to look at now. And then we're talking about 45, occupational health. There were certain times ahead of accidents and other things. If we go by some of these things, those accidents that we had recently with the rich stacker and all those things, they would start being away. We preempt and work towards it. 27,001 is another thing we need to look at. We are looking at information security, not trying to protect our security information, but propagating it, moving out, making all stakeholders understand the reason why we need to practice some of these things. Now, we are seeing we need to have a seamless one-port ecosystem where we have a goal to integrate all port users and tenants and other operators into a unified, standard-driven system. GPHA has already begun this alignment. We should be looking at this standard and then look at the ecosystem very well. We're looking at green port concept.
Yeah.
We can't do that alone as GPHA. We need to do that together. We touched on the information security. That is the leadership that we need to have at that place too. Is very important. So we are to move from green port concept to climate action pioneering. We need to pioneer climate action. And then above all, we do look at achieving net zero emissions, where we're looking at the carbonization, trying to do away with them. And then renewable energy leadership. Renewable energy leadership, where people, when vessels come to the port, they have power all round to make sure that they power their vessels, not using their auxiliary distance. So the carbonization issue will go out. So we're looking at the air quality as well. Then fully electrifying the port. We should now be thinking of moving towards electric equipment, the use of electric equipment. These are some of the things.
That would also lead to less emissions.
Less emission and other things. Now, when we get people conscientized, we do that by even educating people using the circular economic model, where we will also look at the social responsibility that we have, educating people about health and other things. So we need to also try to adapt that system. So the national competitiveness, energy, enhancing national competitiveness, this is what we need to look at. Deforestation, the tree planting and the rest that we do. You know, we have tree planting day. ISO leads some of these things.
Yeah, we did it this year.
Yeah, but it should not end there on that day. The trees that we planted Are they still around?
We've actually done, we put efforts in place, and I know we acquired.
Monitoring.
We've engaged a team that goes around to monitor those streets. Yes.
So we should send it out, not necessarily keep it over there. So I remember MPS, when they came, they tried to look at planting trees at the beach, Sakumono beach, but nothing has come out of it. It is important for us to do that. I pray that by the end of the next 40 years, we would have been very sustained in ISO. We would have incorporated fully our ISO systems in our strategic plans and monitor ourselves using the ISO as well. You know, it involves everything. We were talking about the merger. Did it take off immediately?
Yeah. Yes.
We had series of challenges. You know, immediately the merger took off, it did not apply immediately. There were sentiments that people were expressing at the time. So we needed to introduce staff at various areas gradually, which we did in some of it. I think I was part of one of the people who was first introduced to cargo handling setup to mix up with them. And we did this gradually, and then we got to it. Now you could see that those people now in GPHA are the GPHA born
babies.
It's only about 2 that were mentioned that are here. So it makes things very smooth. It makes it very smooth. People now understand each other. You know, I belong to you. Those days they were saying, we cargo handling, we're doing this. We Port Authority, we're doing this. We're doing, but we gradually had to do that. So it didn't take just a day. Rome was built. I mean, not in reality, built in a day. So reality that came up that way. So these are some of the things I want us to look at
40 years ahead. And so, Madam Amanda, being at the center of this planning, personally, what really stood out for you about GPHA's journey and the people who have contributed to its success?
It's been a very, very nostalgic and also humbling experience. You know, we needed to, when we were putting the documentary together, for instance, we wanted representation from the various organizations. I've been in the port, I was engaged in 1994, so I've also been there for quite a time.
Was I born?
32 years. So looking at those videos of the past people I met in service, the passion with which they still speak about the organization and their willingness and readiness to share the story, to make sure that our history is preserved. That was very touching for me because it shows that even though their service, active service in GPHA has ended, they are still very passionate about the organization. So if people who have worked there before, even when times were not as good as we are experiencing now, have this much passion, those in service now have no excuse. We need to make sure that we are showing full commitment, are very well dedicated to the cause of GPHA, and ensure that the vision of GPHA is being driven through with passion and dedication. So for me as chairperson of the committee, it's been a very interesting experience. I have a very solid team behind me who work, and we are working very well together. We all have one vision. It's a common vision, and we are all hoping that at the end of the celebration, we have been able to preserve our history. We have been able to strengthen our partnerships with our staff, with our stakeholders, with our retirees, and then we have also been able to give back to society. Even in choosing the CSR that will commemorate this, we looked into the future. We wanted to focus on an education facility in the community because those people in those schools we see as a future of GPHA, because somewhere in there are people who will grow up and work in the ports of Ghana because it's just right there in their community. So we want a celebration that touches all. It touches those people who worked in the past, the present, and also the future.
Finally, when the celebration is over, what would be for you a successful celebration? What should be the takeaway for GPHA and its stakeholders?
That we generate a sense of pride in the current staff. We have a lot of people who have been engaged in GPHA now who are new to the environment.
Okay.
I want them to have a sense of pride that they are at the right place and that much is required of them. They have to apply themselves to their job and build on the foundation that they came to meet, because there is no doubt that we have people who made sacrifices and laid for us a very solid foundation.
Yeah.
So at the end of the celebration, I want our stakeholders to feel that our partnership has been strengthened.
Okay.
And then our history has been preserved.
Okay.
Because I want the history to be preserved such that when we are telling our story in the next 20 or so, when GPHA is 60, GPHA is 80, we have a good story to tell. And we can tell the story from 40 and build on it and see where we have reached. That for me will be a successful celebration of
That will be a successful celebration indeed. Ms. Amavi, your final message to GPHA, its stakeholders, and the younger generation at GPHA.
So the message should go out to the younger ones now, that it's not been easy to get to this level, and they need to work tirelessly, and they should work trying to get the stakeholders closer. They must know that they can't work with the port thriving alone, but the stakeholders are important. Yeah. So they should preach the message to others and prompt each other to toe the line of discipline, the line of dedication, the line of commitment, and make sure that the work that they are doing, it actually belongs to them, to no other person
than to them. So Thursday we are launching the celebration.
Very excited.
And then, oh yes, we're all excited about it. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Amavi. He's Gavin Amavi. He's a former general manager.
I should have said something.
Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Madam Amanda, you have some last words?
Yes, I wanted to lay emphasis on the fact that the current staff, they came up a lot offering their services. We had somebody who put a song together, an anniversary theme song, took the theme and developed the song for us. In fact, we had two people, one in Takoradi and one in Tema. Yes, so we've had, and that enthusiasm, I think, must be acknowledged. Even for the lunch on Thursday, we've had a group of people who have come together saying and volunteered to do a choreography to the theme song that we have. So I'm very excited about the event, that the spirits that we are looking for, and the signs are there. I know that we'll eventually get there.
Definitely we will get there. Philippa Amanda Amma, she's the chairperson, GPHA 40th Anniversary Committee. She's also the general manager for the Fishing Harbour, right?
Tema Fishing Harbour.
Tema Fishing Harbour. Viewers, thank you so much for watching this episode. I told you it's a special edition of Iron Port. And remember, Iron Port is brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, Gold PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link Network Services, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Make a date on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. for the abridged version. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.